everyone, my name is Kaikun6 and I'm here to do another episode of Playlist Stories. And before I start on this episode, I wanted to say that this one was a very weird and random memory that came up. I would say it was like one of those things where I felt like I was trying to like listen to music that I was with my husband, of course. We were like probably riding around or getting something to eat or something like that, and next thing you know, one of the songs on his playlist popped up, and then it just reminded me of a really weird and random memory. I don't know, it was just really weird because it was like one of those songs that I haven't heard of in like years, and there was a whole bunch in his playlist also that I haven't heard in years, and I haven't fully added to my Spotify playlist, and so I felt like once I have free time, I'll do that, this and that. And so the title of this video, Get Busy by Sean Paul, was one of them, and so I wanted to talk about it with you guys today about that song and then what memory came with it. And I felt like I needed to explain it because I felt like this memory was like bombarding my brain for a few days, and I felt like I should explain it. So I don't know, like I'll just get started with it. So I just remembered like I was like in middle school or high school listening to the song often, and then as an adult I stopped listening to it for some reason, and then all of a sudden I went back to listening to it. So I felt like it was like one of those like songs that were lost in time, and I'm still trying to like remember what other songs I used to listen to, thanks to my friend Alibaba and my brother and everybody else that basically were lost in time. And then so listening to my husband's playlist, especially this song, I was like, yeah, this memory needs to be talked about. So anyway, so yeah, middle school was like one of those weird but random phases of my life where I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was still going through, kind of like really weird things like, of course, puberty and this and that. But it was just mainly like trying to make friends. I just remembered like ever since I started going to school, like I've always wanted to go make friends. And I kind of made friends, but they were lost in time also. Or we had different classes, this and that. And so there was this transition of time, I would say, like, I don't know, it was just really weird where I was not really in the popular girl group, whatever, I want to tell you that. Like, I never wanted to be in that group. I was mainly like approached by them and wanted to be my friend for some reason, and I felt like no thank you, like I have my own friends, I'm happy with them, I'm gonna stick with them and stuff like that. And so of course I've talked about this girl before. It was Underneath the Gun by Limp Bizkit episode, and if you don't know that episode, go ahead and watch this before you watch this episode. But this is kind of like a more in-depth memory of this person, and I mentioned her name before, is Rhea. So I remembered in middle school, like, about Rhea, like, she was like somebody that everybody liked, including teachers, students, everybody liked her. And so, a lot of the times she would like try to befriend people that were outside her clique, and that was like really nice of her, to be honest. But I felt like she was not right for me, for sure, because I felt like even during the whole thing with cliques and this and that, it's just her, I want to say like her aura or her personality was just too much for me. I felt like she was too much, and all I wanted to do was just like stay away from her, and that's what happened. But a lot of the times I was approached almost every year for I don't know how many times a year since middle school that she wanted to be my friend. And I've tried, I remember at one point after high school, but then that didn't happen because she got busy with life, and then I got busy with life. And then when she found out that I moved to Texas, that was when she deleted me off of Facebook, and then since then I haven't known anything about her since. But I just remember she was like in a bunch of relationships at the time. She was like, I hate to say the term or the saying, it's like she was going through guys like changing underwear, basically. Like, I just remember her either dating this one guy for like many years, or like this one time she'll only date him for a week or so, and then that's it. It's just really weird. But anyway, In middle school, I just remembered I wanted to just experience like normalcy, I would say. Like I wanted to go to school dances, and so I ended up going to a school dance with a friend of mine at the time. And I knew her first, and then I knew somebody else with the same name like years later, and so I didn't want to say like her real name and just say 1 and 2. And so I felt like I wanted to give her a nickname, and a lot of people know her by part 1 of this nickname, and I really am sorry for saying it, because like that was the only way I could describe her at the time. It was either I was gonna give her the nickname Clumsy, but like I said, there was just so many rumors about her, and most of it were very true. And so I felt like it was kind of like harsh at the time, where we gave people nicknames based on their actions and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm going to do today, because a lot of people, whenever I say her real name to people, they're just like, who are you talking about? Are you talking about this girl here? Or are you talking about somebody else that dated her or knew her? And I said, no, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about somebody else. And so I'm going to give her the nickname Trampy. So a lot of my friends might know that nickname, because I used to give her the nickname all the time, and then her real name after. But I'm just going to use the first part of her nickname. So anyway, but yeah, her mom was like, I don't know, like she was like a really cool babysitter, and then she was really great friends with my mom, and of course they fell out, and then that was it. And so during that time when her and my mom were friends, like we became like really close friends, especially with her siblings and her dad and all that stuff. And so it was pretty nice, but she was mainly like the catalyst to Ria, to be honest. So during a school dance, I remember I was talking to my best friend at the time, Demi. I was like, hey, do you think you can go to the school dance? And she said no. Like her mom was like very strict on that, and she just said, no, I'm not gonna be able to go. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see if somebody else can come with me. And at the time, I went to Trampy's house, like for my mom to hang out with, her mom. And then they were talking about, girl stuff, like adult stuff. And then so I was like, you know what, I'm going to resort to going outside. And so I went to go outside. I was hanging out with her little brother at the time, and then like a neighbor of hers, and then of course Trampy. And so we went outside, and at the time I think she was living in some apartments. And so a lot of people were kind of like, like, who is this girl? Like, why is she here? Like, if Trampy knows her, then maybe she's okay, that type of thing. And so slowly, surely, they got to know who I was, and then my mom's presence. And then so they're just like, okay, so now I know who this girl is over time. So anyway, so Trampy was just like, hey, are you gonna be going to the school dance sometime soon? I said, yeah, like I just asked Demi to see if she was gonna like come with me, but she said no, because her mom was very strict on her not going. She was afraid that something bad would happen to her, and then she'll never forgive herself. And then so Trampy was just like, well, I was thinking about going anyway, because there's this boy at school that I really like, and I was thinking about impressing him. And I was like, really? And it's like, yeah, like I might need a wing woman. Do you want to be my wing woman? And I just said, sure. I don't know how I can help, which I have no experience of flirting with guys. But then her experience was that, or at least she said, it's because you're always hanging around with guys. And so I felt like, since you're like part of the guys, maybe you can help me to see like what this guy is thinking, and then maybe I'll say the right thing to him so I can impress him, this and that. And I was like, sure. And it's not the first time I've done this, to be honest, like being a wing woman or something. I have done it multiple times with friends. And so I felt like I should have like another video set up for that type of or future videos where I should talk about that experience, because it was a very interesting one. So anyway, this one was like somewhat of a memorable one. So I ended up going to the school dance. I remember she showed up in like a really nice outfit. I don't remember she wore a dress or like a green top and like a skirt or something, but she looked very pretty. She had like makeup on and everything. And so I remember for me, I was very, very opposite of what she wore, because at the time, I was trying to figure out like who I was. Like I felt like colors weren't meant for me, and if I have a certain color, it had to be like just certain shades of it, and then that was it. But most of the time I just wore a lot of black. And so I remember, I think I wore a black dress. I had like my hair down also, because at the time I did this hair care routine that apparently it worked for my hair. Like right now it's just bleh, you know, but like I had beautiful curls and waves. Like they were like very beachy, very wavy. I don't know, it was so pretty. And so I let my hair down that day, and I had like black lipstick on, and I had eyeliner on. I could not find the right shade of foundation, and I think like at the time I was not allowed to wear foundation because my mom had this thing against it. I don't know, maybe it was because of the shading or something, or she didn't want me to look very plastic. I don't know. But she said eyeliner and lipstick was okay. And so I was just like, that's fine. It's not like I'm going to be wearing it like intensely, you know, because like it was like one of those things where I guess like during a Mexican household, especially like modern at the time, you know, they said don't wear makeup because it's like you don't want to look too grown up or get the wrong attention from people, this and that. And for me, I felt like I was, I didn't really care. I don't know. My mom was just like, if you want to wear makeup, just don't wear it too intensely or you're just going to look ridiculous. And so I was like, okay, gee, thanks. So I only wore like black lipstick that was kind of like from a costume or something like that. And then eyeliner. And I don't remember what brand of eyeliner it was, but it was like long time ago. So anyway, that's the only thing I ever wore. And so, or like wore on my face. And then so I had like my hair down, I had my hair ties like I usually do, and on my wrist or my fingers. And then I think I had a purse, I think, or if not, I was carrying around like a little wristlet to have like my IDs and all that stuff for school. And so, and whatever else I needed. I think I had like a ticket or something, I don't know. Anyway, I had like a little wristlet pouch thingy, and then I was wearing, I think, like platform shoes or some kind, because I remembered that she's a little bit taller than me, my friend Trampy at the time. She was a little bit taller than me, and so I felt like maybe wearing my platform shoes would give me some inches, and it did. Like, I think I remember I was still like 1 or 2 inches off from her, from being like eye level. So I was just like, okay, whatever. I just wanted not to be sure. And so she was just like, oh, you finally showed up. You look very pretty. And I said, thank you. I just didn't know what to wear, and this is the only thing I felt like it was gonna be comfortable for me. And she was just like, oh, don't worry about it, you look fine. Like, I bet you like maybe some boys is gonna catch your attention. And at the time I was like, I'm not interested in boys. And like, really? I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I just know like a few of my guy friends was gonna show up to the dance, and I really wanted to go. And so I ended up going. And I don't remember what dance this was technically, because they only hosted, or they ever made like a few of them a year. But I think this one was like close to summer. I don't remember, but I just remember it was being really warm and everything. And by the time that she and I showed up, it was already warm. People were already sweating because they were dancing, drinking, and everything. And then of course, like, it didn't help where that gym at the time didn't have AC. They had fans on, but it didn't help at all. So like, we ended up going inside the gym, and we just saw like basically almost all of our classmates show up. I remember old classmates that were from my elementary school showed up there, and I was just like, oh boy, I wonder, you know, who's gonna be here and stuff like that. And so as soon as we walked in, like, I just remember seeing everybody like looking at me and her, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are they staring at us, you know? And so a lot of the guys, I would say, that was there at the time, they were kind of like, oh my god, they look very pretty, this and that. Like, I dare you to go up to her to like go out with her and stuff like that. I was just like, and I remember hearing that, I was just like, I really didn't care. I was like, I do not care. So but a lot of them were like, wow, like, who is that girl in the black dress, this and that. And I was just like, oh, well, I guess they like me more than her. That's really weird, because at the time I was very self-conscious of my body, because like, I'm still a thick girl and stuff like that, and I was very like big at the time. But I had curves, I had everything. Like, I felt like I still had my hourglass figure and this and that. And so it kind of like, I felt like the dress really accentuated my body. Like, it really complimented it. So it kind of gave like a few, you know, like it turned a few heads and stuff like that. And so I just remembered I was like telling Trampy, I was just like, yeah, let's go dance for a little bit and then see what happens. And she's like, yeah, I don't see the guy here yet, so let's just go. So we ended up just dancing for a little bit, and then of course it caught some attention. it mainly caught the popular kids group there because they were like dancing in the middle of the stage and stuff like that. And of course, Rhea and everybody else were kind of like staring at me. They were just like, who is this girl? Like, why haven't we never seen her before? And I guess me wearing lipstick and eyeliner I guess they didn't know who I was. And so I ignored them for a bit. But once in a while, I would catch them staring at me and stuff like that. And so I just felt like I was annoyed, and I was already getting sweaty and this and that. And so I felt like, you know what? I do not want to ruin my good hair that much. I'm already sweating. And then so I just said, Trampy, let's just go to the restroom and clean myself up. And she's like, okay. So we ended up going to the restroom. And then I just remembered, like, just airing myself out. I remember grabbing, like, towels and, like, paper towels or something, just like dry my face and everything. And I don't know what brand of eyeliner I had, but it stayed on there, and I did not even know that waterproof eyeliner was a thing at the time. But I remember I sweated so much, like I thought it was gonna start running down my cheekbones or something. No, it stayed on there really good. So I was just like, that's really surprising. So anyway, and then, like, of course, like, my lipstick started coming off. And so I remember grabbing the zipper part of my wristlet, pulling out my lipstick. I ended up, like, touching it up a little bit and then putting it away. And then so Trampy was just like, hey, are you ready? It's like, we're just going to go get something to drink. And I just said, fine by me. And so I felt like, okay, well, now it's a perfectly good time for me to pull back my hair. And so that's what I did. I remembered, like, I pulled it back to, like, a ponytail where it still kind of, like, showed off, like, some of the beachy, wavy curls. And so once we left the restroom, Trampy kind of, like, got in my way, and I was just like, what's going on? And so outside, I saw Rhea and her friends, and they were just like, Jenny, is that really you? And I'm just like, yeah, like, what's going on? It's like, oh, we didn't recognize you at first. Like, wow, girl, you look really pretty. And I said, thanks. I'm just gonna go now to the dance, okay? And it's like, no, wait, we want to talk to you for a little bit. And I said, okay. They kind of like gave Trampy a signal, you know, kind of like, you know, you need to, can we like have some alone time to talk with Jenny? And then it's like, yeah, sure. And so she ended up going inside the gym, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And so the Rhea kept like touching my hair, like kind of like touching my face, which was very weird because I had never like had anybody do that to me before other than my own parents, because sometimes like I would sometimes be clumsy when I was younger, so like if they see a scratch on my face, they just want to look at it, you know, like do that, and I'd be like, what's going on? Why are you touching my face? So yeah, it's just really weird. And so they were like, yeah, like, what's going on? Like we didn't recognize you at first. And I was just like, oh, well, I rarely dress up, of course. And it's like, yeah, you should actually wear makeup more often. And I was just like, no, thank you. And maybe makeup is not my thing. And plus, it was something like my mom wanted to put together, and I wanted to wear the black lipstick. And at the time, I did told them about like costume-ish type of dressing I used to do. I felt like I was always in a play or whatever, but it was just mainly like I wanted to use a lot of the black lipstick that I have gotten at the time, and I just remember wearing it rarely, but nobody ever like paid attention to me at the time, up until I guess the popular girls at the dance did. And so I felt like, okay, what am I supposed to do now that I got their attention? And so one of them actually came up to me and was just like, girl, like, you don't have foundation on or anything? I just said no. No shade was right for me, so I just put eyeliner and the lipstick, and that's it. And it's like, okay, that's really weird. And so they kept looking at me, and I was just like, okay, y'all need to stop, you know. And so Rhea was just like, hey, you want to come dance with us? And I was just like, I was just dancing with my friend Trampy, you know. And so they were like, yeah, like, you know, we'll invite her too, but we want you to come dance with us. And so I was like, sure, but why? Why do you want me to dance with you guys? This is like sus, you know. It was very suspicious. And so they said, no, don't worry about it, we're just gonna dance. And I just said, okay, sure. And so I ended up going to the dance, and like inside the gym and stuff like that. I actually did dance with the popular girls, which was very nice. A lot of the guys, especially one of them that caught my attention, because he kept staring at me almost the entire time while I was dancing. with Trampy and the girls, and he kept like asking me questions like how do I know Rhea, this and this, and I just remembered telling him, like, answering my questions almost the entire time while we were dancing. And so he kind of was suspicious, I'm not sure, and I wish I could remember his name, but I could still remember his face. So he was like a very, very serious person. That's all I remembered. And at the time, when he was still alive at the time, Anthony, which I was very surprised that he showed up to the dance, he kind of was like, hey dude, just knock it off, you know, like she's just trying to have fun, and who cares how she knows Rhea, you know, like, just leave her alone. And it's like, yeah, but I've never had anybody from a different clique get into our group. And I just like told him, like, this is the only way I knew Rhea was through a classroom, and we were paired up a lot for projects and eventually, you know, with Anthony and this and that. And so so he kind of was like backing away, and so he was like, all right, cool. So then after a while, we got sweaty and everything, and I just remembered, like, okay, this is too much. I need to get some fresh air. So I went to go outside to get fresh air, and then Rhea kept calling my name, like, Jenny, where are you going? Like, we're just getting started. And I was just like, I know, but I need some fresh air. And she was just like, okay, well, I'll join you in a little bit just to see if you're doing okay. And I was like, sure. And like, literally, Trampy was like within seconds within me leaving, and then apparently the guy finally showed up, I guess, the one that she had a crush on at the time. She kept talking to him, like, in a few feet away from me while I was trying to get some fresh air, letting this like breeze touch my face or something, so that way I can like let some of the sweat off. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm good enough to dance for a little bit, then I'm gonna go home, because at that time, I think they cut the dances because it got really too warm in there, and they opened up all the doors finally for letting this breeze in. It was still not enough, so they had to cut it short. And even the fans that were running in there was not enough. It was just so hot in there. So so then after that, I tried to get inside, but then Rhea and everybody else were kind of like blocking me, and I was just like, what is going on? You know, like, I got really scared because I was like, Trampy, where are you? Like, I can't see you. Because as soon as I made my decision of like, I'm gonna go dance for a little bit, it's like she disappeared with a guy, and I felt like, oh, maybe she's back in the gym. And no, I don't know where she was at the time. I just remember her showing up like almost close to like the dance just stopped and this and that. And so I was like, okay, now I'm like confronted with these popular kids. What did I do wrong? You know, maybe I pissed them off somehow. And so Rhea was just like, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out with us like sometime soon. And then I kept looking at everybody, and I felt like I'm so uncomfortable with these people. I really was. Like, I felt like I was kind of scared, but I was just mainly like, I just know their auras was not, you know, good for me. It's like too much. And so I felt like, yeah, I'm just gonna say no. And they're like, really? Why? Like, why do you want to hang out with us? And I was just like, I just can't. I'm sorry, you guys. I just really can't. And plus, you have your own friends. I have my own friends, and our friends will never click, and this and that. So just because I clicked with you guys or whatever, that doesn't mean like we're gonna be good friends after this dance. And so I ended up just pushing, like, kind of like squeezing my way through them. I danced for a little bit when I finally found Trampy and her guys. So I ended up tramping with, you know, like, I think her crush at the time and her. Danced for a little bit. The popular kids kept like circling around us, and I was just like, I hated this. And so I was like, I gotta go. And so I just remembered at the time I had a cell phone. No, I didn't have a cell phone. I used one of the pay phones that was like on the school or something, or if not, I ended up going to the principal to see if he could make a quick phone call to my mom. And then, like, while I was waiting for my mom to come and pick me up, Trampy was like, oh, you're gonna go now? And I just said, yeah, the dance is about to like close in like 30 minutes, and I might as well go home. And she's just like, yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm gonna see if your mom can give me a ride. And I was like, yeah, sure, you should go. And then all of a sudden her attention just gotten away from the guy, and then she just changed her mind, saying, I'm gonna go walk home with him. And I just said, yeah, sure, have fun with that, which is very dangerous because I don't know where the guy lives and this and that. So after a while, I was just standing outside waiting for my mom to come and pick me up, where the popular kids came up to me, especially that one serious guy. He kept looking at me a lot, and I was just like, what is going on? You know, like, you need to leave me alone and this and that. And so I guess they kept me company for a little bit until my mom came and picked me up in her van. And then I was just like, yeah, bye you guys, and I just waved and I just jumped into the van real quick and I said, Mom, let's go. And she was just like, why Mija? And I just said, I'll explain it to you when I get home. And she was like, okay. And so I finally talked to her about it, and she was just like, Mija, why didn't you say anything? Or you should have like talked to the teachers or something. And I was just like, Mom, I thought I could handle the situation as best as I could, but it just felt so creepy. And like, my mom knows when it comes to like me meeting certain people, if I don't feel really good around them or something, like, I would literally back the fuck away, you know, like, I would not stick around and deal with it. I would either go outside or go somewhere else. And so I just remembered, I was just touching my chin because earlier I shaved my face a little bit because I am going to be going out for a little bit after recording this video. And so I shaved, and then I felt like some blood down here, so I don't know. So anyway, I just remember like just heading home, and I remember my sister was home at the time, and she was watching like her usual TV. I think she was on Disney Channel or something like that. And then my brother, I think, finally got home from work or something, and she was just like, you know, where did you go? And I was like, I don't know. Hold on, let me go pick up my hair tie. I've been playing around with it for a while. Even explaining this, like, this random memory just gives me really bad, like, nervous shakes or something. I don't know. It's just really weird. Maybe like little ticks here and there. But anyway, so yeah, I explained the situation to my brother. My brother was just like, okay, cool. Like, you know, as long as they didn't do nothing to you, right? And I said, no, that it was fine. And so, yeah, after that dance, of course, a lot of good songs were playing during that dance. And of course, the title to the song was playing it. But it felt like this song came at such a very weird random time when like all these popular kids were like circling around me. So like, this song was playing while they were circling around me while I was dancing with Trampy and the guy that she had a crush on at the time. And so I felt very, very, very weird about it. And so I remember the next day, it was like a day off or something like that. And then I think I got to enjoy the weekend or something. I don't remember. It was like one of those weird things where you went to a dance, you get like a couple days off, you enjoy the weekend, and then you go back to school on Monday. And so during that weekend, I felt like these kids knew my schedule, especially with me going out with my mom to go grocery shopping. So I ran into them almost every single time at the store, and I felt like really bad because I kept ignoring my mom. I was just trying to like shield myself from seeing them, this and that. And so by the time Monday came, just to like get back to school, that was when the whole like my feud, I would say, with the popular kids became known for everybody in the school, including in high school, because I remember her, like, Ria's like reputation in school was like very, very noticeable, and like somewhat in a good way, you know. But I felt like whatever, like, they didn't know what was going on between me and her, I wanted to say. And I did explain it to a few friends about it, and they were just like, you know, why worry about it? It's not like she's gonna come after you all the time. And of course, it did happen a lot in high school, which I could always give you an update on that in a different video. But that was the only memory I could remember that was very, very weird for me to remember because of this song. And I just remember, like, I just knew since then, that day, I was never going to be left alone by Ria or anybody else from this popular kids group. And that was when I felt like I had to stay away from them entirely, for sure. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, you should have stayed with them. Maybe you could have gotten, you know, your 15 minutes of fame, or you could have been popular, this and that. Maybe it would have gotten you somewhere different in life. I don't know. And I honestly did not care about none of that stuff. I felt like, yeah, they portrayed this group in TVs and movies like they were like really awesome people to be around with, but when I got to know them when I was like in school and stuff, they were just like ordinary people. They were just boring, literally. Like, I felt like I could get more entertainment in my friend, in like my group of friends, than them. And that said a lot about something, because usually I never get bored of that easily, but I remember when I actually got to dance with these popular kids and then getting to know them in school and this and that, it was so boring. I felt like I was sleeping during this group, so I was just like, what is going on? This shouldn't be like this, but yet I am. So anyway, I ended up just trying to ignore Ria and everybody else. And of course, over the years that happened, because some of them went to different schools, some of them got transferred, or in that case, of course, with Anthony, you know, not being alive and stuff like that, a lot of things has changed. And of course, more memories started popping up in my head where I felt like it affected me as of today and this and that. And so I felt like, okay, well, I had to explain this memory a lot more, and then maybe it would also be another type of catalyst into a group of people that I used to know when I was in school. So yeah, and so yeah, I'm just gonna end the video right there. It was just a very weird and random memory. It was just like one of those things where I was part of that group for a little bit, I want to say, but not really. It was mainly like they were just interested in getting to know me, which is very weird, because I'm like, why were they mainly interested in me where they should have been interested in these other kids where they had more of like that vibe than I did, or the personality? And I don't know, maybe my own reputation that I had in school maybe must have been like a big deal to them or something. I don't know. I felt like I was just a quiet kid. I didn't wanted to I just wanted to go to school, make my friends, and then just go home and then enjoy whatever family time I had with my own family, and then just do it all over again while I watch TV and listen to music and this and this. So yeah, this song is just gonna forever be embedded in my memory forever when it came to this like that incident in middle school. So yeah, so I'm gonna go now. I need to go get ready. I think my mother-in-law is about to pick me up like in a few minutes, because we're gonna be going to see our ceramic lady, which I haven't done the thingy that I bought. So I bought some stuff, and then I got some other stuff, and and I'm not gonna show it to you guys till next week. So yeah, but yeah, let me go get ready right now. I need to like do something with my hair, and then yeah, just gonna change clothes or something. So yeah, so anyway, hopefully you guys have a lovely day and a lovely week, and I'll see you guys next week for hopefully a crafting video, because I do want to craft, but mainly it's just gonna be like a shopping haul video, because I have a whole bunch of stuff laying around. Like, I'll give you a sneak peek like this, and like some other stuff that my mother-in-law has given me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like do a shopping haul on that one. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go now. So bye everyone.